Walk with me.
Not thou silence, O God. Behold, hold not thy peace, be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Eden and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagenerines, Jerbal and Ammon and Amalek and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher is also joined with them, and they have holpen the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as Jabin, unto the brook of Kishon, which perish in Endor, and they became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeb, yea, all their princes as Zebah and Zalmunna, and who said, let us make to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth a wood, as the flame sitteth in the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with the storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O God, even I am that I am. Let them be confounded, troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah, art the most high over all the earth. Psalms chapter 83. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed forever, that we go not astray from henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, 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 yes. We thank God for you, you, and you. And it's a beautiful day. Always a beautiful day to just be all praising to the Most High. I mean, with all the things culminating in the earth, many of us look at it and say, well, the end is about to come. Yes, the end was about to come ever since the day the earth was created, because of the sin of man, because of what's in man. The end of the earth was about to come. Today we see the tidings of war on every front. Even those who dwelt securely and lavishly in the land they call Babylon. Now you see a threat pointing right at your nose. And it scares the living daylights out of you. Even those you have demised and those you have put much devastation upon. Even they call that place Japan. Even still haven't forgot what you have done to her. You think you shall get away with such atrocities? You think you're going to get away with your warmongering? Best to just stand up. You fight, but you're not going to win. You're going to cause devastation, but you're not going to win. For in the end, in all the world, God is going to win. The Most High will win ultimately. Because the nations before him are nothing. They're less than nothing. Less than a drop in the bucket. And that's what he means. You're nothing. Because the fact is, he don't need your weaponry. The things that you use for weaponry did not the Most High make. Did not the earth provide. And if the earth provides, the earth can take it away. But either way, we want to say that with a hand clap of praise, we want to thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning, and those of you that have subscribe thereafter, and here and there's about. And we want to thank God for those of you that have just subscribed and those of you that are about to subscribe, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Yes, God will not forget what the heathen. You might not have nothing to do with it. Far from it. But God will show how righteous He is when He executes sentence upon the earth. There's one thing about judgment. Judgment is identifying the sin. After judgment, there is the sentence of the crime committed. The God judgment is whether you're guilty or innocent, or whether you're forgiven, or whether you're excused. And man just can't do it for you eternally. No. And we're in the book of Jasher. Jasher chapter 65. Yes, 65. That's where we are. We're going to go into 66 also. And the children of Israel were tricked in our last chapter, or in this chapter, in our last video. The children of Israel were tricked by the children of Egypt because they were afraid that they would join themselves unto their enemies. Now you see that God, He knows how to do what He do, and He does it best. He's dealing with these people. Now these things come from spirits. God, the thing comes from God. He said, I created speech. These spirits fall out of way with God. They can't resist the Most High. In no way they can. But He knows their evilness and their intent toward mankind and toward Him who loves mankind. But the fact is, mankind don't love God. Mankind has been so deceived by the auspices of devils and demons and evil spirits to the point mankind looks at God as Satan and looks at Satan as God. Evil is being called good and good is being called evil. This is the way it is. And the children of Esau, those who have been of the seed or whoever he impregnated among the women of other nations, the offspring have come out. And what's in that offspring is hatred. The Bible clearly defines those who Esau copulated with and whom he mingled with. And it's very evident by the things that we suffer today. Even those of you, even the children of Israel. You say, and then some of them say, well, why are the children of Hannibal, why are the children of Italy, especially southern Italy, they say, are darker than the children of northern Italy or something like that? They say it's because of Hannibal. Is that true? No. Esau. Yes, Esau. And then every one of you have a different hue. Or have a hue close to that to the darker. Now, we're not going to get into all that ifs, ands, and buts, but God has a way that He's going to destroy Esau. See, Esau is the end. Period. God didn't say that just haphazardly or just talking into the air. No. Not by a long shot. The only way to avoid this, well, Esau cannot avoid it because his ways are continually evil. Not everyone of a lighter hue or a much lighter hue is of Esau. No, not everybody. But it's evident of those who are. Now, in verse 31 of the 65th chapter of Esau. Jasher Chapter 65 and verse 31. We left off in verse 30, and it says that all the children of Israel were greatly afraid of the Egyptians in this matter, and all of the children of Israel returned and worked alone without pay. In other words, slavery. Work without pay is slavery, period. Involuntary servitude, work without pay is slavery. The slang for it is slavery. Whenever you work and you don't get paid for it, it is a crime in most countries. And when you're paid above the recommended amount, or should I say minimum wage, it is a crime in most countries. But some get away with it. You can work for an employer right here in the United States, and it most likely it's an employer that you might have worked for either on his farm or in a small job or somewhere where he thinks he can get away with it. Unless you speak up, you will not get compensated for what you do. He wants to, that's enslaving you. And many have gotten away with the enslavement. I mean, either way, whether the employee walks off the job or whatever, he's still entitled to his or her pay, because they did offer their time and whatever services you asked them to, or that you asked that they render, or they were mandated to render to you. They are entitled to their pay. But the children of Israel returned and worked along without pay. And all the children of Egypt did, as we know some of these corporations do in their, should I say, bigotry. They take their own and they might give you a few, should we say, specks of dust in the mix. But they take their own and they'll ease them into another position. They'll ease them into another position, and that's it. See, these things have not ceased. See, the Egyptians, also, the spirit of the Egyptians is also upon the world also. Not only in the country where you reside, but all over the world. There are those who want to enslave you. Among the Arabs, it is mentioned all the time where they would ask you to do work, ask the Africans to do work, and then either pay them little or nothing, and do as the children of Gomorrah, come up with crazy laws and things that really are irrelevant to what is happening. And in verse 31, the children of Israel built Pithom and Ramses, and all the children of Israel did the work, some making bricks and some building. And the children of Israel built and fortified all the land of Egypt and its walls. It didn't say nothing about pyramids. And the children of Israel were engaged in the work for many years, until the time came when the I Am remembered them. Now he's going to skip in time. This is hundreds of years later. The I Am remembered them and brought them out of Egypt. But the children of Levi was not employed in the work with the brethren of Israel from the beginning unto the day of their going forth from Egypt. For all the children of Levi knew that the Egyptians had spoken all these words with deceit to the Israelites. Therefore, the children of Levi refrained from reproaching to work with their brethren. And the Egyptians did not direct their attention to make the children of Levi work. In other words, the Most High had a lot to do with that. Since they had not been with their brethren at the beginning, therefore the Egyptians left them alone. God had something to do with that. And the hands of men, the men of Egypt, were directed with continued severity against the children of Israel in that work. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel work with rigor. In other words, they were violently made to work. This wasn't nowhere near what happened in the Americas, or what is said to have happened in the Americas. And the Egyptians embittered the lives of the children of Israel with hard work. And don't forget about South America. Do not forget about South America. Although it's less said, this was the most devastating thing for many of our brethren in South America who have been through these atrocities. Worse. But yet they stand proud. They stand up. They still thrive. They're still going. They're still birthing. They're still rejoicing. But yet they've been infiltrated with the horror of revelation in their minds to acknowledge something that is not so. And that is this Isis. And the Egyptians did not direct their attention to make the children of Levi work. In verse 35, we're going to skip down. And the hands of the men of Egypt were directed continually with continued severity against the children of Israel. And then go down to verse 36. We just read that. And the Egyptians embittered the lives of the children of Israel with hard work in mortar and bricks, and also in all manner of work in the field. Because what? They snuck off from them. Sometimes if you boil crabs, if you put crabs in cold water and boil it, this is what they did. This is what is meant by that. You put it, this is what is noted. I don't know whether they ate crabs or not. And then the crabs, and some of us, we've eaten some of those things. Yes, I don't eat those things anymore because God says don't. Now they boil them and they got so comfortable. Now here they are, they find themselves in a way that they can't come out. They're trapped. And the water is heating up to boiling, and now they're about to get well done. And the children of Israel called Milo, the king of Egypt, Miro. They called Milo, the king of Egypt, Miro, king of Egypt. Because in his day the Egyptians had embittered their lives with all manner of work. Remember that name, Milo. So you have so many theories of Egyptian history. And some of them, now the Egyptians lie too. You think just because you see a history book or something, you know them by their doing. Even those that are there today have hidden and erased much of what Israel was doing at that time. No, it was not known of Israel. Even the part where it is even on the YouTube platform, where the archaeologists, they allow the white archaeologists to come and look at the storehouses of Joseph. They actually have it covered up, and then they uncovered it for them, and then after they took pictures and went on a tour through it, they covered it back up to hide the history. It's something else. They're just Arabs born in Egypt, that's all. Now because the days of the Egyptians had embittered with their lives in the manner of work. Verse 38. And all the work therein the Egyptians made the children of Israel labor, and they exacted with vigor in order to afflict the children of Israel. But the more they afflicted them, the more they increased and grew, and the Egyptians were grieved because of the children of Israel. And this is what God's going to do today. You're going to find that many of those who are supposed to be of Jacob are going to go back to having into polygyny, not polygamy or polygyny, not polygamy or this polyandry or anything else but polygamy. And babies are going to be born, and there's nothing you can do about it. Esau, nothing you can do about it. Children of the north, nothing you can do about it. Even those Hamites of Africa, those Hamites that live in the way of the United States that were here before the colonizer. You're Hamites. Some of us might be Hamites. We don't know it. They've hidden. You were the enemy, Indians. You were the ones. Because look at the artifacts, prove it. I digress, but hey, that's what it is. It is what it is. There's nothing they can do about it. Nobody can do about it. They're Hamites. They have inherited a certain portion of the world, just like the Shemites and the Japhites. Each one. But this thing here, God has done a certain thing with the rising of the lighter skin. He's done a certain thing to chastise and condition the children of Jacob, that he might come and find just a small little bit that are faithful and that will praise him and that will worship him and that will obey him and go after his laws vehemently and with all their heart and mind and soul, loving God even more than their life, as Abraham, their father, did. This is what God is looking for. God don't care about your unbelief. God don't care about you and your little sick baby or your sick husband or wife. He don't care about that stuff. He'll have mercy upon you, yes, but the one that will come after the Most High is Abraham. The faith, the confidence, Abram. This is what we're looking at, not no Esau. Esau did nothing, even in the scriptures, nothing compared to Abram. But yet he's going to come back. Before Abram was I am. Yes, I am was before Abram. That's God. That's one God. That wasn't him talking, no way. Because a prophet of the Most High will not contradict his God in no way, shape, or form. A prophet of the Most High will seek truth and know the truth. And even if the prophet is prophesying, else you're prophesying because of a certain spirit. There's a spirit there, sent. And that spirit sometimes will make you lie. You don't understand this thing, do you? I'm talking to the prophets right now. Call yourself prophets. You're going to bust hell wide open at the part where Enoch said, and be down there with his angel. You better make sure that what you're doing is according to the statutes, laws, ordinances, and commandments of the Most High, and within line with what he says about himself, that I change not. And you better find out who God is, because this spirit that's talking to you, yes, it's true in many ways, but that doesn't make it God. That doesn't make you redeemed. Watch it, prophet, or whatever you call yourself. Watch it. Because in these days the Egyptians had embittered their lives with manner of work. In verse 38, and all the work therein of the Egyptians made the children of Israel labor, and they exacted with vigor in order to afflict the children of Israel. But the more they afflicted them, the more they increased and grew, and the Egyptians were grieved because of the children of Israel. They grieved. They brought in the Mexicans. They brought in all the people from all the earth. They brought them in and let them come in free, trying to grieve the children of Jacob. It's not gonna work, buddy. God has a way. You think if they drop nuclear bombs on this earth and there's children of Israel on it, it's not going to protect you? As long as that child that called himself a child of Jacob is keeping the commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High, even wherever he put his foot is like the land of Goshen. Evil will not come nigh thy dwelling. Don't worry about what you see in the bombs. Let them drop. And you better make sure you got some place with God. Turn to God with all your heart, mind, and soul, even if it means your life. That is the ultimate test. And chapter 66 and verse 1. And at that time died Hadad, son of Bedad, king of Edom. He gone. And Samlah of Mesrika from the country of the children of the east reigned in his place. You have to realize that Esau did not want those of his own brethren to rule over him. Now, in the 13th year of the reign of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which was the 125th year of the Israelites going down into Egypt, 125th year now, Samlah had reigned over Edom 18 years, and when he reigned, he drew forth his host to go and fight against Zepho. That's another Edomite, the son of Eliphaz of the children of Chittim, Edom. Same thing, because they had made war against Angeas, king of Africa. This is a word play here. It might have been on the continent, but that wasn't the continent of Africa. That was a small plot or country or territory or whatever you want to call it. And they destroyed his whole army. Okay, Angeas was destroyed. And he did not engage with him, for the children of Esau prevented him, saying he was their brother. So Samlah listened to the voice of the children of Esau and turned back with all his forces to the land of Edom and did not proceed to fight against Zepho, son of Eliphaz. They were all Edomites. They took over a lot of the land. All the way from up toward, all that land. You're talking about on the other side of the Euphrates, all the way into Italy. These people have been there. And they were black, according to the definition of these people here in the U.S. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, heard this thing, saying, Samlah, the king of Egypt, were resolved to fight the children of Chittim. And afterwards he will come to fight against Egypt. Okay. And Verse 6, and when the Egyptians heard this matter, they increased the labor upon the children of Israel. Oh, man, we better quit, because if they come against us, the children of Israel, they're going to sit up there and join them and fight against us, and Egypt will be done with. But that wasn't God's plan. Lest the Israelites should do unto them as they did unto them in the war with the children of Esau in the days of Hadad. The children of Israel whooped they behind. No, you don't go telling us to fight, and then you going to go back where you going. That's why some of you black soldiers better watch out. You go to fight and fight another country, and then these other soldiers go the other way, and then they force you to fight on the front line. You better turn around and whoop they behind too, regardless. Better do something. You got their same armament. They gonna give you the armament. Hey, you got the same thing they got to fight with them. Don't worry about that mess. Don't let them do you as they did in World War II. Come back home and you're less than a dog. If you come back home, I doubt if you do, but either way, as they did unto them in their war with the children of Esau in the days of Hadad, so the Egyptians said unto the children of Israel, hasten, do your work and finish your task and strengthen the land, lest the children of Esau, your brethren, should come to fight against us, for on your account will they come against us. And the children of Israel did the work of the men of Egypt day by day, and the Egyptians afflicted the children of Israel in order to lessen them in the land. So what is happening? They're putting on mass drive-by and through your neighborhoods, Jacob. They're getting you in traffic stops and escalating the situation where you are unalived. They're causing you to get all kinds of sickness and diseases and making you seem as though you were the reason for everything that you've done, Jacob. I could keep going on, but the fact is, you need to know who you are. Now, you also hidden among the Egyptians or the people of Mizraim or the children of Ham. Nobody wants to be known by Ham, but Ham is not cursed. It was Canaan that was cursed because of the sin of Ham. That's what it was. It was sin to his father. He disrespected his father in that he looked upon his nakedness, and therefore his father cursed him, and God honored it, as we see today. And verse 10, and in the 125th year of Israel's going down into Egypt, all the Egyptians saw that their counsel did not succeed against Israel, but they increased and grew in the land of Egypt, and the land of Goshen were filled with the children of Israel. So all the elders of Egypt and its wise men came before the king and bowed down to him and sat before him. And all the elders of Egypt and the wise men therefore said unto the king, may the king live forever. And thou didst counsel us the counsel against the children of Israel, and we did unto them according to the word of the king. Now, isn't this same spirit in those that are over you in the lands that you are sons of Jacob? The same thing. You cannot get promoted on your job. Some of you, it took a long time to get even promoted in your militaries that you serve for the others. These things are upon you, even the spirit that was over Egypt. These are devils. These are those who are destined to carry out the wrath and the chastisement of the Most High toward the children of Jacob. Yes, it is. I don't care how you look at it. Just be honest and accept it. Because the fact is, God is going to bring you out, period. And it's not going to be long. But I'm not going to say as other ones, oh, this is the year of bringing out. This is the year. You was alive and your breath stank. No. It ain't the year of bringing out or nothing. God's going to do it. He says, watch. The prophet said, watch. Now, a lot of things the prophet said, that even though they lied on the prophet, he wasn't hung on a tree. He might have been hung on a tree, but he wasn't crucified as they said. He didn't say a lot of things that they say. And those were just letters that people sent about the prophets, and they just sort of tweaked them some. And then the letters that those who followed that prophet and what he said, he made the names up. Those were different people. But either way. And it says now in verse 13, But in proportion to the increase of the labor, so do they increase and grow in the land. And behold, the whole country is filled with them. Now therefore are their Lord and King, the eyes of all Egypt are upon thee, to give them advice with thy wisdom, and by which they prevail over Israel to destroy them or to diminish them from the land. And the king answered them, saying, Give you counsel in this matter, that we may know what to do unto them. And an officer, one of the king's counselors, whose name was Job, from Mesopotamia, in the land of Uz, answered the king, saying, If it please the king, let him hear the counsel of his servant. He was Edomite. And the king said unto him, Speak. And Job spoke before the king and the princes, and before all the elders of Egypt, saying, Behold, the counsel of the king, which he advised formerly respecting the labor of the children of Israel, is very good. But you must not remove them from that labor forever. But this is the advice, counsel, by which you may lessen them, if it seem good to the king to afflict them. Behold, we have feared war for a long time, and we said, when Israel becomes fruitful in the land, they will drive us from the land, if a war should take place. And if it please the king, in verse 21, let a royal decree go forth, and let it be written in the laws of Egypt, which shall be revoked, and that every male child born, eugenics. He's saying, let's practice eugenics. Let me continue with this. Every male child born to the Israelites, his blood shall be spilled upon the ground. Why? Because the seed of the male can never be changed. Never. From Noah all the way to today, the seed of the man can never be changed. But the woman can birth many seeds. This is why you are not God, you backward sitting woman, with your head turned backwards like the Exorcist or something. Now, that every man child born to Israel, his blood shall be spilled. Even the Egyptians understood this. They could have babies with the women all day, but those babies would be of that of Mizraim, the seed of Mizraim. They knew this, but apparently we done got hit upside the head somewhere. When you have a baby with a man, woman, that baby becomes of the nation of that man. Even if he's white and don't like that baby is of his nature. May not his color, but his nation. That's who that child or that person belongs to. The nation of the man. And where his nation come from is from his earliest father. All came from Noah at this point. But there were fathers appointed above that. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And then they had other fathers, as far back as you can go. And by your doing this, when all the male children of Israel shall have... This is the angel talking to Moses. This is another version, not version, but it's another rendition of what the angel or the angel of presence was saying to Moses, just like he was talking in the book of Jubilees. These things were written down. How did Moses remember them? It is God who can quicken the mind and cause man to remember. God can do these things. And so he wrote them down. And the evil of their wars will cease. Let the king do so and send for all the Hebrew midwives. Now, Moses did not know this until later. In order them in this matter to execute. So the thing pleased the king, and the princes of the king did according to the word of Job. And the king sent for the Hebrew wives to be called, which the name was, one was Sapphira, and the name of the other Pua. And the midwives came before the king and stood in his presence. And the king said unto them, when you do office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see upon the stools, if it be a son, you shall kill him. If it be a daughter, you shall save alive. And she can bear children for the Egyptians. Yes. I mean, it's going to be some of her DNA. Yeah, all right. A little part of her father, but mostly the Egyptians. If you will not do this thing, then I will burn you up in all your houses with fire. And the last one, and the midwives feared God and did not hearken to the king of Egypt, nor to his words when the Hebrew women brought forth to the midwife son or daughter, and did the midwife to all that was necessary to the child, and let it live. Thus the midwives all the days. I'm going to end it at verse 27. You got to realize, those of you nurses or those of you doctors, when you carry out the will of those, you began to take upon your people. Oh, something that failed there. You take upon your people to either demise them, eugenicize them for the sake of those of money. You've done a bad thing. There's a fire left for you. There's a torment left for you. Period. But they could not do it even with their own lives, because they see, I see myself in these children. And when you start seeing, whether it's your color or whether it's your nation or your people. Nowadays we've been so confused about our color and who we are that we cannot even see that we're committing medical genocide in many ways. Sometimes it's better just to leave. You start your own establishments. If you are RN or MD, you can start your own stuff. You can raise your own, you can campaign to build your own hospitals, if that's the case. You do that, then you won't have nothing to have even dear. You can, even those of you who are in biology and know medicine, you can do the same things. And I guarantee you, if you really search, you would find medicines that will be offered to you that they cannot offer. And you will make more money than they can ever think they could make. And they will be jealous and come after you, because you have cured the people. And they will always patronize and come to you with any ailment or anything that they have. And with that, we're going to say peace.
Walk with me.